Hello, fellow healers. Hello, fellow psychics. I'm talking today about reversing third eye burnout with crystals, and specifically for healers, for psychics who are pros, who are doing this work a lot and who pay their bills from this work. Your third eye chakra, your intuitive and psychic center, is instrumental to your work, to your practice, to the standards and value of the services that you're providing for other people. So, of course, third eye care is something that is really important for you to maintain. And oftentimes this isn't something that people necessarily talk about. It's not something that's necessarily taught in any trainings. I was a what was called a healer's healer in New York City. I had a lot of healers. I had a lot of psychics who were part of my regular clientele when I was a professional crystal healer in New York City. And one of the things that I'd see time and time again, they'd come to get energy clearing. That was one of the main things they were seeking from me, but also they'd talk about how their third eye felt blocked. It felt sluggish. They were having trouble connecting the way they usually would, or reading the information that they usually would, or getting really accurate hits. And what I found is that it wasn't that their third eye chakra was blocked. It was actually the opposite. Their third eye chakra had been so worked during the week. There'd been so much energy flowing through there, and they depended on it so much that almost like a muscle, it got tired. I teach in my Pro Crystal Healer program about how chakras, when it comes to chakra balancing, we've got deficiency, where there's too little energy flowing through, and of course an extreme version of deficiency is where there's blockage, and so there's very little energy flowing through. But then there's also excessiveness, where too much energy is flowing through that chakra, or too much too regularly, and the chakra experiences burnout. Just like our everyday people ourselves can become burnt out if we're overworking, if we're overdoing, if we're overtaxing ourselves. The same thing can also happen with a third eye chakra. Of course, an easy way to help reverse that burnout is to rest, to just give it rest, give it a few days, read, do other things. But when you're working professionally as a healer, as a psychic, you may not have days and days off where you can just let that energy naturally restore and replenish and balance itself out. You may need to care for and reverse that energy excessiveness more quickly. And the really tricky thing with third eye burnout, again, based on my years of pro healing experience, is that it will oftentimes behave like blockage. So you'll feel like your intuition is blocked. You'll feel like you're not connecting. But if you really, really tune into it, it's not so much that it is blocked. It's more like it's staticky, it's fuzzy. It's just, it's tired. And so it's not functioning the way that it needs to be. So what I would do in my healing practice, and what I'm going to share with you guys here, is I would place specific crystals on the third eye chakra to help reverse that burnout, replenish the energy, and bring it back into balance from a place of excessiveness to a place of optimal function. And the two crystals I would use are right here. Clear calcite, which is gentle, it's restorative. If there is any kind of blockage or interference, it can gently start to buffer that. But the key word with the calcite is gentleness and restorative. If you stick a piece of quartz on there, or a crystal that's in the quartz family, what it's going to do is it's going to run even more energy through that chakra. And because it's already burnt out from that, it's not going to help. It can actually make it worse. The other crystal that I would always add, and again, this is stuff that I share in my trainings and my program, is azurite. Azurite, A-Z or Z, depending on where you are, U-R-I-T-E. Really helps to restore, replenish, bring that third eye chakra back into balance and back into optimal function. If you are in a state where, on top of, let's say, the excessiveness, maybe you've gone through a rapid spiritual growth, rapid spiritual expansion, all of a sudden you've experienced awakening and all these things are shifting and changing for you. And again, you start to get that burnout feeling, you start to feel stuck, you start to feel like it's too much for you to embody. I would place Celestite on the third eye chakra, again, which is very restorative for a burnt out or excessive pineal gland, to help bring that energy again back into balance, to soothe, to cool, to bring down some of that heat. And if you've tried all that and you're like, no, it's definitely blocked. I've got blockage, which can happen from stress. It can happen from anger. It can happen from food and lifestyle things. It can happen from too much energy sitting on your aura that needs to be cleared. So third eye blockage does and can definitely happen. That's when I would recommend a crystal from the quartz family, and I would recommend amethyst. And you can work with the amethyst in tandem with the clear calcite, place them on the third eye chakra, and in both cases, whether it's excessive or deficient, place it there. And I do recommend that you leave it there for about 30 minutes. So just lay down, rest, listen to some blissful music, and get your third eye chakra care happening. So my pro healers, my pro psychics, there's some energy self-care for you for that really beautiful chakra of yours that does such great and wonderful work. And I do hope that's of service for you. And if any of you want to learn more about training with me or learn more about my work, you can hit the link in the description and go to my website, krista-mitchell.com, where I've got crystal classes and books and certification programs all online. So thank you so much. Blessings to all of you. Please do subscribe. More videos are on their way.